Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. Another NBA video, and I know you know what I'm about to say. It seems like we can't talk about the NBA without talking about what happened last night. What happened last night? That's a good question. Thank you for asking. So, I'll. It's Saturday. I know you guys are watching UFC, college football, all types of different stuff. I don't want to take up your time. But I know y'all. I know you want to know what happened last night because I want to know what happened last night. So we're just gonna go over one of my lineups, one of my head-to-heads. I'll tell you if I won it or not at the end of the review. TJ McConnell. Actually, before I start this, because I'm gonna get all worked up and forget. If you're new, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up. All right, let's go back to our review. TJ McConnell. Now this is a head-to-head. All right, so I had TJ McConnell. He wet the bed. I didn't care. The other player had him also. Chris Duarte. I've been playing him heavy. Preseason, regular season. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. 5.5, 5.5 salary. He gave me 29.50 fantasy points. That's with Sabonis. That's with Turner. That's with McConnell. So I'm fine with that. My co-MVP that I told you about yesterday, Harrison Barnes. 7.4 salary, 38 fantasy points. Not the greatest, but consistent. OG Anunoby, my man. My preseason MVP. 6,800, 6.8, 26.75 fantasy points. You know what? Like I said, I give him a pass because he worked hard on both ends of the court, and he did miss quite a few shots. So um, we're not getting to the point where um, Barnes is cutting into his fantasy points, but he did miss a few shots. If I feel like Barnes is cutting into his fantasy points, then I'll lay off of him. But I usually watch the games the next day, so I haven't watched last night's Toronto game yet, but I will watch it. But you know, Jared Allen, I know it was a tough matchup, but I know they would have needed him for many minutes. He was 6.2, and he gave me 24 fantasy points. 24.75 fantasy points, but I figured they needed him. You got to play AD, you got to play Howard, you got to play Jordan. So I figured we'll get a few blocks on Russ, a few blocks on Monk, but LeBron ended up playing, so that kind of threw a monkey wrench into my plans, but that's fine. Um, Next, I had Jalen Brunson. The other player had him also. He didn't wet the bed, he shit the bed. You're talking about 4,800 salary, 11 fantasy points. But the night before you had 40 fantasy points, and then the night before you had 35 fantasy. Nah, I can't be doing this. Bruce Brown started 3,800 fantasy points, 17.50 fantasy points. Okay, buddy. You know what? This is a head-to-head. You're playing a tournament. You're not winning any tournaments with 17 fantasy points. This can't happen. And then my last piece my savior. Instead of Paul George, for one night only, I'm gonna call him my Lord and Savior. This man at 10,000 salary dropped a 60 burger. What I always say every video, you need your players to give you back 6 times what they worth. 10,000 salary, 60 fantasy points, exactly 6 times, and that was the difference. And I ended up winning this head to head. But you know what? I could have did a lot better. But the problem with DFS in this season is that we're playing DFS players that were good last year. We need to focus on the players that are good this year. And with that being said, that was then, this is now, and let's start with our point guard. So coming in at point guard at 9,400. Should we say 9,400? Let's do Morant. For a little bit of savings, we're going to Toronto. We're going to pick up Trent Jr. And the reason we're doing that, because he's scrappy, so he's going to get his shots. He's going to play his minutes, 31 minutes. He's going to get his shot, 13 shots. But he's playing on the defensive end. He's 2 steals, 5 steals, 1 steal, 1 block. So he's playing defense. He's getting his shots, and he's getting the minutes. 4,600. That's all I can ask for. We're going to stay in Toronto. This man's been providing fantasy points since preseason. He's a rookie, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to Scotty Barnes. He's averaging 33 fantasy points a game. 35 minutes, 30, 39 minutes, 36 minutes, 37 minutes. Listen, he's getting 17, 14, 12, 17 shots. 9 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 13 rebounds. His assists go up and down. He has 0 and 1, 7 and another, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 steals, 1 steal. But let me tell you something. He's aggressive. He's 6,000 and he pays off his ticket. Tonight, we're looking for 36 fantasy points from him. He averages 33, so that shouldn't be too hard. At power forward, listen, I don't want you guys to judge me, but I'm going somewhere where I feel confident and I feel comfortable in the minutes and the shots and the production. Wendell Carter Jr. Excuse me, still a little bit sick, but I'm trying to fight it. So Wendell Carter Jr. He plays 30 minutes. He's going to give you 8 to 12 shots. He's going to give you 9 to 12 rebounds, a few assists, 4 blocks in one game, a couple steals, 35, 33, 23, 39, and 37 fantasy points. If he's not in any foul trouble, he's going to play, 30 minutes. They're going against Detroit. Listen, I watched a lot of Orlando games this season, and I can tell you that Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba are going to feast tonight. They're going to feast on Detroit like an early Thanksgiving feast. I don't really got to even pull up the stats on Mo Bamba. He's averaging 36 fantasy points a game. Mo Bamba is a terror on the court. Okay, let's leave it like that. Morant, Trent, Barnes, Carter, Mo Bamba. Let's jump to Fanduel. Fanduel, a little bit easier to roster. It's just a matter of picking the right person. We're going to go to somebody that's been very under the radar, but still very good. We're going Trae Young. If you ever thought you should see the day that Morant and Curry be separated by 400 points, I don't know what to tell you. Miami's a little bit tough. I don't see Morant, playing hocus pocus with Miami in the paint, so I'm going to go to Curry. I'm going to pay the $400 extra and go to Curry. Curry's actually matchup proof. Morant could be matchup proof also, but guess what? He'll show us tonight. If he drops a 50 burger on us tonight on Miami, then you know what? Nothing you can say. All right. With Patrick Williams being out for the season, Alex Caruso got more playing time. He actually closed the game last night. So at $5,000, I'm gonna take a chance on Caruso. I know he's gonna give us a chance to hit his fantasy points, but let me see something. Just got an alert. Darius Garland is out tonight, but I don't think. Yeah, they are on the I'll stick to what I was doing. Let's go get. Let me see something. Okay. This is another problem I'm having. When I have my lineup set, and then I see inactives or new people starting, I tend to mess up my lineups, and I need to stick to my guns. We're playing Caruso because he needs more minutes with Patrick Williams out. My other shooting guard spot, we're going to Gary Trent for the same reasons that I just gave you. Now, it's going to be a toss-up between Gary Trent and Jordan Clarkson. Gary Trent will play more minutes, but Mike Conley is out, so Jordan Clarkson will play more minutes off the bench. Jordan Clarkson hasn't really wowed me this season, so you know what? I'm not going to play him for what he could do. The highest he had was 29. Played 23 minutes. He's getting 23 minutes. 29 fantasy points in 23 minutes, and that was against Houston and Sacramento. Nah, when he shows me something, I'll play him. Right now, I'm sticking to Gary Trent. Now, at small forward, like I just said, Conley's not playing. Ingles should start. If Ingles starts, I like him because of his price. I like Bogdanovich too. But the thing is, I'm taking the savings. If he starts, we don't need much from him. And, if he gives us 27 fantasy points, we're fine. And he's starting. He should be able to give us that. I'm going to one of the best players all season, 6,200. Part of the real big three in Miami. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and boom, Tyler Hero. Comes off the bench and just lays waste every game. He's averaging 34 fantasy points. At power forward, a guy that's way too cheap. This guy's an actual slate breaker. And by no means should be cheaper than Draymond. He should be more than Draymond. We're picking up our guy Mo Bamba. Next power forward spot, a guy we spoke about earlier on Draftkings. 6.2K. He's averaging 32 fantasy points. He's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like, I don't know. He's playing like Dominique Wilkins or something. Scotty Barnes. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When he starts to cool off, then we'll come off of him. And at center, another rookie that playing like he's not a rookie. Let's see, we got Adams, Clint Capella, Draymond, and Mobley. And I'm going to Mobley. He has a motor. He blocks shots. He takes shots. He's not green. He's not scared. And for you guys that are not familiar with him, let's go over his game log. 38 minutes, 32 minutes, 35 minutes, 26 minutes, 34 minutes, and 36 minutes. Right? 17, 13, 17, 10, 12, and 23 points. 9, 5, 11, 8, 10, 6 points. 6, 2, 1, 2, 0, and 3 assists. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 0 blocks. 2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 1 steals. 42 fantasy points, 30, 48, 22, 33, and 40 fantasy points. This man's floor is high, and his limits are high. A bad game from him is what's a bad game from him? A bad game from him is 22 fantasy points, and he only played 26 minutes. So Lord knows what happened in that game, but I'm sticking with Mobley. So you got Young, Curry, Caruso, Trent, Ingles, Hero, Bamba, Scotty Barnes, and Evan Mobley. Don't say I never did nothing for you. Alright, we're gonna do Super Draft. It's already done. One more reminder: if you're new, hit the button. If you're new, hit the thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell. I'm a little bit sick today, but you see I'm still providing NBA content. I'll be back in a little bit with tomorrow's NFL lineups. Thank you for your time. Let's just get through the Super Draft and I'll get out of here. I really appreciate you guys. 1.15 modifier, we're doing Trae Young. 1.45, Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony's another dude. This guy this season is a monster. Last year he was a little puppy. He's coming out right now with a big bark. 1.45, Cole Anthony is for real. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Desmond Bane, they're going back to their foolishness. 1.7 multiplier. Desmond Bane is a main part of Memphis's new surge, their new look, their new demeanor as far as not being a pushover. They could beat any team in the league. If they play correctly and if they're healthy and everybody does what they need to do. And Desmond Bane is very, very, very underpriced here. Scotty Barnes, we just went over him. 1.5 multiplier. He's averaging 31 fantasy points. How can you average 1.5? How can you average over 30 fantasy points but have 1.5 multipliers? That's retarded. Evan Mobley, same thing, 1.45. Julius Randle. Julius Randle is an all-star. Julius Randle might be first team NBA for the East. Julius Randle plays all game, takes a lot of shots. He grabs rebounds, he blocks, he plays defense. He's the lead on that team, and he's the reason for their turnaround. Julius Randle is up there with the big dogs. And you got Embiid. Now look at this. Randle is averaging more fantasy points than Embiid with a higher multiplier. Embiid is averaging 44 fantasy points, but he has a 1.05 multiplier for what he did last year, not for what he did this year. Right now I have Embiid, but Embiid is my last guy in, and Embiid is not set in stone. Sabonis has actually been a little bit better than him. You know what? We're going to go with Carl Anthony. I believe Embiid is battling some sort of injury, and there was only really one game where he really went in. And I can't pat you on your back for what you did last year, because that's costing me money. So let's pay attention to the players that are playing well this year, and tune out the guys that played well last year and not playing this year, and we should be fine. Alright, so we're done. Thank you for your time again. I appreciate it. Subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up. Let YouTube know that I'm trying to help you even when I'm sick. And I'll talk to you shortly with an NFL video. And that's about it. Any questions, any comments, throw it in the chat. There's going to be news again tonight. Throw it in the chat. If you need any help, you can ask me. If you want to ask me in private, Instagram, Twitter's link. And I will, there are a few people that do reach out to me daily. I do get back to him before lock. So, don't worry about, reaching out to me. I'm here to help. I want us all to print money. Alright, so that's it. Enjoy your Saturday. And I'll talk to you later.